Hi, trying this one more time. Apparently, I lost connection. Kind of funny since I was just talking about that last night. But okay, I think I'm back. I'm going to try. I can't just keep deleting this and starting over again, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. It's about the best I can do. Obviously, I can't get Spectrum here to fix this problem before Thanksgiving, and I'm not even sure how quickly after Thanksgiving I can get them here. So I'm just going to hope for the best, and if it's really bad, then I might come back and record a video to replace this one, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm Roberta Colasino, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. I normally come to you every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock with a free crafting class. And now I'm coming to you every day until December 2nd with what I call the 12 Days of Christmas. Lots of different small gift ideas, things for office mates, things for friends, neighbors, the mailman, whoever it might be, family members, just small things that won't cost you a lot of money. So I'm looking at things going on over here and I'm not sure what they all are. Okay, I think maybe we're okay. Although there seems to be quite a delay on my screen from what I'm seeing and what I think is recording. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down so we can get started before anything happens again. Okay, it just keeps saying trying to reconnect, which would imply that I'm disconnecting fairly often. And I definitely know that I need to upgrade some of my stuff, but whether that's going to happen or not, I guess I just don't know. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, today would be day 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, today would be day 6, not day 5. I must have forgotten to check out of 12 days of the 12 days of Christmas. Let's just change that real quick. All I'm doing is just using some cheap paper and a dot of glue. All right, day 6, here we go. If I can just get the dot of glue to come out. There, oh, there we go. Okay. So day 6 it is. Okay, apparently I don't even know my days or my numbers anymore. So I have a really pretty gift for you tonight, and it could be pretty, it could be masculine, it could be holiday themed, it could be birthday themed, it could be for fun, it could just be anything. It could even include photographs. It's that kind of a thing. All right, so it is a tri-fold gift holder, and I don't always show you my sample until afterwards, but this time I'm going to, because as I worked on this, I made some discoveries. The one that I made is my sample, and this one is obviously a birthday thing. All right, it says birthday wishes on the outside, and it is held together with a piece of ribbon. This is the this particular color is now retired, and now they have it in a new color, but it's called the crinkled seam binding ribbon, and it's made like seam binding. If you're a sewer, you know what that is, but much narrower than seam binding. And I just like it a lot because you can dye it. You can either color it. If you don't have the blends, you can actually color it by crumpling it up and putting it in a little glass dish or something with some of our re-inker in it. So you can make it any color you want it to be, which is what I've always loved about it. But then they did away with the white, and I'm hoping they will bring it back. Okay, so this is using a paper that I'm sorry, but is not available to you. It was given to me as a gift for reaching a certain sales achievement. But anyway, the stamp is from the Simply Said stamp set, and this is what we call a standalone stamp set. It's only $17, so it's a great bargain, and it has a bunch of sentiments that would come in handy for lots of things. So there's 2 different birthday sentiments. One is kind of, just plain and in in print, and one is in cursive. Let's celebrate in thinking of you. And then the inside I used Sketch Butterflies, which is a beautiful set, and I think that one is part of a, if not a suite, a bundle. I think there are dies that go with this. I didn't find them with the stamp set, but I'm sure there are. All right, and I used the, on the inside, I used wishing you a beautiful butterfly, wishing you a beautiful butterfly, wishing you a beautiful birthday, and I used some of the butterflies. And I didn't totally finish up decorating the inside yet. So the way it works is you open it up like front, and you've decorated this other flap so that you see pretty stuff when you open this up. You've also decorated inside here, and I did go all the way down with this paper, although honestly it wouldn't be necessary to go all the way down. And then you decorate here, and then you have these 3 cards that you can put in here. Okay, now some people I've seen make things like this more for pictures or whatever, and so instead of putting something decorative like this, they might put black or something because maybe they're going to mount a photo on it. They might even put black here because they're going to mount a photo on it. And then obviously you wouldn't have anything covering it up like this. But this is a little bit different. It's actually meant to be a greeting card. It's just meant to be a much bigger one. So even though it says birthday wishes on the outside, I also stamped wishing you a beautiful birthday on one of these cards. And I thought maybe kind of more different styles of butterflies. The colors that I have used are Pretty in Pink and Melon Mambo. Now, just to be honest with you, the color of the base here is actually Fresh Freesia, which I think goes along with this okay, not to be offensive. But you need a 12 by 12 piece of paper to make this size folio. And while we do sell 12 by 12 paper in all of our colors, I don't always buy it, but I sometimes get a sample. So I happen to have a 12 by 12 sheet of Fresh Freesia, but then I also didn't happen to have some designer series paper that was current that had Fresh Freesia on it. So I use this instead. What can you do? You work with what you've got, right? Now the other thing that you could do, and you're probably getting so tired of seeing my Google Play gift cards, maybe I'll get something different for Christmas. I know I have gotten some Bath and Body Works gift cards, and sometimes once I put them on my phone, I throw them out and I forget that I like to save them. But the other thing that you could do would be to stick your gift card, that might be a little too wide, but to stick your gift card with a glue dot on one of these pieces of paper so that when they pull it out, I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to lose it, and when they pull this out, they see the gift card. And you could put a gift card in each one of the 3 pockets if you wanted to as well. But again, you could also put some photographs if you were, it might be kind of cute, like let's say if I'm giving this to someone for a milestone birthday, like a 30th birthday or a 21st birthday, maybe if I have them, I would put pictures of that person blowing out their birthday candles on their 5th birthday, somewhere in here, maybe even on here. I think there's a whole bunch of things that you could do with this. More things to it before I take pictures. I did take pictures of last night's project, and by the way, all I can say about last night's project is good grief. I haven't had an issue or a fail or almost fail like that in ages. And thank you to thank you to Cheryl for typing in the comment "hooray" or something like that when I finally got it right. I don't think she was being sarcastic. She's a very genuine person, so I'm sure she was being genuine. But I took pictures of those projects, and honestly, they all came out. And even though I'm taking pictures, I will show you. So. This one, I put a person's name on it, and this might be something that I put at a table setting for Christmas Day or something. And then this one, I stuck a handle, that's what it's called, a handle made out of the same DSP, just in case you thought a handle would be a good idea. And then on this one, I stuck a handle made out of red ribbon to match the real red in here. So there are lots of things you can do with them, and you'll also see the pictures that I made a dozen more of those baskets today, and I crossed my heart, absolutely no trouble at all. So I think you just have to do it a couple of times, and maybe, to be honest, the fact that you're doing it in front of other people, where you feel that there might be some judgment if you're not doing well, makes it a little bit worse sometimes, although I'm not normally camera shy. Okay, so one of the things that I learned, well, first let's get started with this, and then I'll tell you what I learned. So here's a 12, yes, here is a 12, I'll slow down, breathe. Here is a 12 by 12 piece of Misty Moonlight paper. Misty Moonlight is a current paper, and, okay, hang on. I'm looking at my directions, and I realize I'm looking at the wrong directions. I'm looking at the directions for something else. So now I have to look through my little pile of papers here, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm thinking that, I don't know what I'm thinking, but I don't have directions. So 2 nights in a row, I'm doing really, really well, aren't I? Okay, the good news is we can figure this out no problem. So we know that it's 12 to be 3 even sections. So 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm guessing that these are scored on the at 4-inch intervals. So that means that it would be scored at 4 inches. See how easy it was to figure that out? It would be scored at 4 inches, and then it would be scored again at 8 inches. Now, if I don't want to pull my arm out, all I have to really do is turn this around and score it again at 4 inches. And unless I'm really messed up in the head, that should create the same situation. Okay, and then at the bottom, let's measure that real quick, and obviously I will post these directions. Also 4, so that's going to get scored at 4 inches as well. Okay, that was easy, thank you. So we're turning it around now so that we're working perpendicular to those, and it doesn't really matter which end we score, because whichever end we score will be the bottom. Okay, let's make sure we score and not cut, since I'm very sure this is the only piece of Misty Moonlight 12 by 12 paper that I have. Okay, so now we are going to, it's hard to see, I know I'm even having a hard time seeing, we're going to burnish up, or fold up on that side, and we're going to give that a little burnish. I am going to take this, no, not that one, which one did I want? Yeah, maybe this one. I'm going to take the reason for that, because I forgot to do something on the other one that I like to do when I make pockets, even though it's not always necessary. Okay, now we're going to fold this in, and this is 4 inches, and then we're going to, I'm just going to turn it around because it's easier, and fold here, and this is 4 inches. Okay. Now, we've got designer series paper, and as you recall looking at this one, I kind of mixed it up a little bit. So this is 2-sided paper. So this and this is the same sheet of paper, but different sides. So here I put the striped one on either side, and here I put the striped one in the middle. I just kind of mixed of crazy colors that maybe don't even match. I know that sounds wild, right? But you could do it. So this one is going to be a Christmas card. So I chose this paper because it had some of the, somewhere on here, I thought it had some of the Misty, or yeah, not Misty Mauve, Misty Moonlight, but it would go. Let's put it that way. So again, you probably don't need to put a whole one on here. So here's what I found though, okay, so I'm going to show you this. If I decide to take this up now and fold it, I have a problem. And I saw a person demonstrating something similar to this, and she said, just smash it down, and really a good idea, honey. I think that's going to bend the whole thing out of shape. So that's when I realized that one thing I might want to do would be to just take like a 1/8 of an inch off of here and an 1/8 of an inch off here. But then I decided that might not really be the problem either. When I make 3D projects in boxes, you've seen me do it before, I kind of miter up. Now I don't want to miter up on the ends because I think it'll be too obvious and I don't think it'll look good. So yes, I'm experimenting, and you know what, I'm going to use bigger scissors just because I'd like to make only one cut if possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on those score lines and stop when I get to that line there. And now I'm going to make one of those little, like I said, I tend to call them miter cuts. Some people call them wedges. I'm going to make a little one there. I'm just flipping it over because it's easier for me to handle that there. Now that one I just made on the other side might be bigger than is necessary, but I'm not going to worry about it. And then I'm going to cut right on the score line again. And I'm just going to tuck that under so I can see what I'm doing. And I like to always have what I'm cutting on the right. I guess that's just because I'm a righty, not a lefty. I don't know. I think I already did that side, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes. Yes, and then I'm going to cut a little sliver off of this, but I'm leaving the two ends alone. Now, will this be visible? Yeah, it will be. It will be visible. I don't think it's going to affect the way it looks or make it any less cute or interesting or whatever. I think it will just make it fold better. So let's see. So now if I want to fold it, there's still, yeah, now it's okay. Now it's going to fold, and yes, it's a little bulky, but I'm not squishing anything. All right? So now I can put these pieces on. Now these pieces were originally 3 3/4 square. So if I care about margins, which I kind of do sometimes, then I think what I'm going to have to do is trim a little bit off of those. And like I said, you will see where I mitered it, and I don't think it matters. If you think it matters, tell me. And then I won't do it again. Or you just decide that you're not going to do it. Maybe you'll come up with a different solution. All right, so I just cut a little touch off of that. And because it's the same color, you know, it's blue on blue, I just don't think it's going to show. Now, that being said, all right, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to take it one thing at a time. So we're going to go ahead and put this on red. So I'll look at it and see which direction I think it might be going in, but I don't think it's too terribly directional. It looks like it's kind of all over the place to me. So I'm really going to worry about matching up or having my margins match over here, and over here. And then here it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be thin up at the top and a little bit heavier at the bottom. Now I could have just cut it straight. I could have. I'm not sure if I'd like that or not, but you know, it's a possibility. So what did I say? Instead of 3 3/4, I took off just the tiniest bit. So instead of 3 3/4, maybe it is 3 and, let's say, I have 3 and 5, say a measurement, 3 5/8. And we'll go ahead and do this one too, 3 and 5/8. Okay, so a little bit more than 4 1/2, or 3 1/2 rather. All right, now this time I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other one. I'm going to flip it over. I don't have to do that. I could make it match, but I'm going to flip it over. If you don't like that, you certainly do not have to do that. I am going to get a little glue in the corner. Like I said, I just do not really care for it. All right, so I'm going to put that in here, and this time I'm going to worry about the margins on the left, no, on the right side, sorry. A little bit more. Okay, and then this one I will have going this way. And you really have to think about that, and I do talk to myself while I'm crafting, because since I wanted to do every other one, if I accidentally put the glue on the other side of this, I might have a problem, especially if I did it to myself out loud. You know, make sure you put the glue on that side. Make sure you put the glue over here. All right, and there is a little piece of paper that kind of, I don't even know how to say it, but just a little piece from my mitering, and that will bother me, so I will just snip it off, assuming that I can. I know, you probably don't care, but that would bother me. Don't ask me why. Certain things bother me and others don't. Okay, so now here's why I brought this punch out. And that is because when I'm working with something that's supposed to be like to make what I call a thumb hole spot. So, in other words, if what you were putting in here was short as opposed to long, it would give you a way to grab onto it. And since I don't know what somebody might put in this, that's the way I want to make it, with keeping that in mind. And if nothing else, it does give it a little bit of interest. And they do fly when you punch them. Okay, that one wasn't as deep as the other one, so I'm going to go back and do a tiny bit more. press it down, it moves a little bit. Okay. There we go. The other thing that I noticed when I made my sample was that I put glue just on the very edges, which is what you should do. And then when I went to stick my little white pieces of paper in, they wouldn't fit. They just weren't quite. Glue was in the right place. First of all, they were a tiny bit too wide, so I made them a little bit narrower. So they were, I think they were 3.5, and now they're 3.25. So I cut them down. But the other thing I decided to do, and I've done this before with 3D projects, and it works pretty well, is I take my glue and I put it where I want it. So in this case, just on the side. And the fine tip glue pen is perfect for this because it does give you kind of a small bead. Put my bone folder down there so that when I press it down, there's already a little lift to it. Does that make sense? And so it'll just help whatever you're putting in there to fit better. And I'm going to kind of slide it from one side to the other, just so that it's sort of pulled away a tiny bit, and as a result there'll be a little bit more give to get something in that pocket. See, like a need, I don't know, maybe there is. Maybe I'm going to flatten that out just a tiny bit. Maybe something not quite as high as a bone folder would be a better idea. Okay, so now we have just a little bit of a lift. So I'm going to do the same thing here. There's no need to put any glue on the bottom because the fold will stop it from going anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to put the bone folder there, and I'm going to press it down. I don't want to take it out yet. Okay, I'll leave it in there a little bit. I'm just not going to go side to side like I did before. I think that's what gave me a little bit too much lift. Okay, just a tiny bit. Yeah, all right. We'll see if that makes a difference. And then the last one. I'm trying to think if my ruler is any thinner than the bone folder. I think it is. So what if I take this ruler and put that down there so it has a little bit of lift, but not as much as the bone folder. So everyone ready for Thanksgiving? I don't actually do Thanksgiving. It's been a number of years since I've done Thanksgiving, which is fine by me. Okay, and it will close, no problem. Okay, so there we go. So then I also need to put this here and here. So I'm just going to flip it over, make sure it's in the direction I need it to be. And so I'm making my cover, and it kind of looks like the back, but it really isn't the back because it's just the front of the other flap, so to speak. Probably not necessary to have this go all the way down. It probably could stop like here, but you're not going to save that much paper, so I'm not worried about it. Plus, it probably makes it smoother going in and out. All right, so then I can do that one there. And, oh no, not doing that. That's for the inside. Woohoo! All right, glad I caught that. That's for the inside. Okay, now we'll flip it over, and now I've got these to put on the inside. Oh, and you know what? I should have done that before I glued, shouldn't I? Yes, I should. Because I was kind of thinking of other... okay, well, see, no matter what, there's some little mistake. While I was busy correcting all the other things, I got ahead of myself with that. So these do need to be a little bit narrower anyway because I made those pockets narrower. So they were 3 3/4, and now I think I'll go down to I don't know if I want to go all the way down. Let's try 3. And 5/8. Nope. So we're going to go down to 3 1/2. And this may just be a little bit of a challenge because, you know, I glued them. And probably on the other one that I made, there was some glue sitting on these, and it didn't matter. So this might be an interesting error that I made, and we'll have to see if it's fixable. If it's going to be fixable, I think I know how it will be fixable. Okay. So, like I always say, learn by my mistakes. Fit in there. It really doesn't because of the glue. So I'm going to still have to make it thinner no matter what. And if I make it thin enough to go all the way down, then I won't have to. I was thinking I'd have to cut some off. Although, hang on, hold your horses. There is a thing that I do with a notepad holder that I make, where to get the notepad to fit in the holder, I do this at the bottom of the notepad so it fits in snugly the size of the whole thing. And nobody knows the difference because I just have to figure out how far this goes. So I have to know how far to cut up because I don't want the cut part showing. I'll go up a little bit higher this time and we'll see. Like I said, where there is a will, there's a way. I wish I could feel that paper to know exactly where it's at, but I can't. All right, so let's do this. We're going to put this here. Then I need to miter it up to here. And the problem is I have to, oh, that's, wait a minute, no. And it really doesn't matter how narrow the bottom part is, or for that matter, how straight I cut it. Okay, so all of these things, and no need to lose sleep over any of them. It's paper, it's crafting, it's homemade, and nobody's going to see what's going on under here anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, there we go. See? See? I used to have a student who, when he wanted to make a point and he didn't think I was going to agree with him, and then when it turned out he was right, he'd go, see? See? He was actually a cute kid. All right, so there. And we're going to do that again, only we're going to make it narrower at the bottom to make it easier to get in. And then keep making the line. I should make a line on each side, shouldn't I? Okay. I'm going to turn that one over. Oh, no, I don't want to turn that one over. Okay. The other thing I can do is slide my bone folder in there to help me slide that down. Okay, this would be a quicker project had I not. But this is just proof of the point that I always make in my classes and in my videos, and that is that pretty much almost anything within reason can be fixed. Almost anything can be fixed because no one's going to see that weird wonkiness on the bottom there. No one's going to even know it's there. And if I really wanted to stop torturing myself, I could just make the paper shorter, couldn't I? But you know, that would be too easy. Okay, there we go. That's good. I'm going to take this one out again, God help me, and pop it. Okay, and then this time, let's see. And this is, by the way, how you design projects, too, is by a little trial and error and whatnot. Although, it's better if you get all that worked out while you're designing it. I didn't design this exactly. I found something very similar for a different purpose. You know what? I could start on this side and go down, couldn't I? Why, yes, Roberta, you could. Okay, and now, just because I can, I'm going to make that just a tiny bit shorter, any more than necessary. And there we go, okay? Shoo! All right, so that was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes out of my life that you didn't need to see. But then again, you learn from it. I keep telling myself that. Now, I don't have to pull this out again to glue it. I truly don't, because that bottom stuff, no one's going to see that, except that I might want to, no, it's in. So I'm just going to get it positioned close to the way I want it. And I'm going to get some glue up at the very top and in the corner, and I'm going to call it done. Well, not exactly done, but you know what I mean. All right, and this one is kind of the same thing, okay? So we are going to scribble some glue in there, and then here, and in the corner, and here. Put it down and say Yahoo! A little glue. I guess I got a little carried away with the glue. It is kind of hard to glue things when you're looking at them upside down, I guess. All right, because I don't think there's any way that that paper on the bottom is going to come out. I don't see how it could. Oh, shoo. All right. So now I've got these, and I guess I should try and make sure that these are going to fit. Please let them fit, because I can't play with these. I can't, I can make them narrower. Yeah, they're going to fit. Okay. So then all you have to do is think about what you're going to do to decorate these, if you are, and what you're going to put on the cover. Okay, now I just realized there was something else I was going to show you, but it's too late now. And that is, there are multiple ways. So with this one, what I did was I just put the ribbon under the sentiment, okay, and then ran it around, and the ribbon is being held down by, by dimensional, so it's not going anywhere. Another way to do it would have been to put the ribbon down with some glue or tape under this before I glued it down, at least on the front. Okay, and then I could have glued it down. Another option is not to use tape at all, or not to use ribbon at all, and to make a belly band. I like belly bands a lot. Sometimes people can't figure them out, though, and they think they're supposed to rip them off, and that kind of makes me crazy. But I get over it. I get over it. I do understand, and I do believe that not every person is going to save every card I give them, and that's just cash. And this is Misty Moonlight Ribbon, which retired in it retired on 5/3/21. See how organized I am sometimes? So we could possibly do this the same way and use the ribbon, because it is pretty with the ribbon, I must say. Now this is probably not, let's be honest, not a card that you're going to get to put in the mail. It probably just isn't. Well, if you don't mind paying for it, you can put it in the mail. It would probably fit in just like a business envelope, or one of those, yellow string envelopes, like a legal envelope, but not the real big one. Probably would fit in that. So we've got 3 panels here that we can decorate if we'd like to. And then we also have to put something on the front. So I grabbed several, what did I grab here? Several stamp sets. I grabbed Snowman Hugs throughout the year, which went out of the catalog, but is still, I believe, online. And this one's cool. This is a great one to get your hands on because it's got a little bit of everything in it. Then Light the Year, and then this one, Sweetest Star. So I could use any of these. I could use some of these. I thought, given that this has the greenery on it, this might be kind of fun to use. So I thought maybe I could just take that and put some of that. Let's see. So when you see stamps that are not sticking to the thing here, but they are sticking here, that generally means that they need a good washing. And you just wash them in a little dish soap and water. Warm water, because they get, the oils from your hands if you've put some lotion on before you craft, or even if they get dusty from, just saying in case your table might have some dust on it. We know that's possible, not likely, but possible. So once in a while you have to wash them. Make sure you plug your drain before you do that, and just be very careful. Ask me how I know. All right, so here's a thought. I wonder if I could place these kind of like I would if I was using the Stamparatus, only backwards. Got to go that way because they're bottom and then put them on this block. And then I wonder if I could, that's hanging off the block a little bit though. All right, let's see if we can fix that so it's not hanging off the block. Let's just see. It would have to be like at a little bit more of an angle. Okay, so then I could, let's see, I think I actually want to use, not Mossy Meadow, I want to use Shaded Spruce, and I'm not seeing it. Am I not seeing it? I'm not seeing it. All right, well, you know what? We'll use Garden Green. We'll use Garden Green. So this way I can stamp a little kind of an archy thing on the top. That's a highly technical term, you know, an archy thing. And I'm actually going to stamp it so a little bit of it goes off. Oh, I like that. Okay. I like it, I like it. All right, I don't know if I'm going to do another one yet, so we'll think about that. And then even though I'm probably going to have something like Merry Christmas on the outside, I can also just use one of these types of things on the inside, like wishing you peace, joy, and light, which sort of refers to this stamp set, obviously, but that doesn't matter. So wishing you peace, joy, and light. I'm going to put that down and put my block on top of that instead of the other way around in the hopes of getting it straight, but it's not. Hang on, we'll try it again. Better. All right, let's see. How about this time if I use the Misty Moonlight? Oh, I'm frozen again. So I don't know if you're hearing me at all. All right, so I'm going to put that right up there. There you go. So that can be one panel decorated. And then don't forget, you can write your own messages on the inside of these as well. Or like I said, you could put a gift card or anything you want, some pictures, whatever you like. Maybe on the other side, in here, I'll do the same arches. Let's cover up the Misty Moonlight so I don't use that by accident. Oh, I have another thought too. Yeah, I've been frozen for quite some time now. But if I refresh, I don't know, I might make myself go away. All right, we're going to do that. I have no idea if anybody's listening to me or not. Sometimes somebody texts me and says, hello, I can't hear you. Definitely missing a couple of stamp pads there. Here. Well, you know what? I'm not. I was going to use some red, but I'm not, because there's just nothing red in that paper. Not that it matters a whole heck of a lot, but it might bother me. The other stamp that's in here that's really cool, and I love the way it stamps, is this little bow. And there is certainly nothing that says a bow, or even a Christmas bow, must be red. There's no rule about bows being red. So let's try. I'm going to do like a little test stamp. Oh, I just love it. This is what we call a distinctive stamp. So when you stamp it, it comes out looking, it has shading. So the stamp is carved or etched, or in this case probably laser cut, in such a way that it shows some texture, which I just think is very, very cool. All right, so we've got that now, and we can stick that, get that out of the way, we can stick that on the other side, and now we've got something similar on each end, which I kind of like. All right, hang on. Oh no, there's ink on that, move that out of the way. See, and whether you were here or not, I'd be saying the same stuff to myself. Just do not want to rip it. Okay. There we go. And then we have one more. And as much as I do like that fun snowman one, I feel like this is too pretty for that. Does that make any sense at all? I just feel like it's too pretty. But you know what would be cute? And I think it would work. Again, it's an unusual color combination, but ask me if I care. The other color that appears in this, well, actually, I take it back. One of the colors that appears in here is a retired color, so maybe I should stick with the Misty Moonlight. I'm going to put this up here just to get it out of the way and make sure I don't get any ink on it. I'm going to bring in my, I'm going to bring in my something. Here it is, my chamois. Oh, I'm still frozen. All right, this is probably not good because you're probably not seeing anything and haven't been for quite a while. But I'm going to keep going just in case because I'm an optimist. Might as well clean those while I'm here, even if I am probably talking to myself. All that's going to happen is if you really missed a ton of this is I'll have to redo the video, which means I'll have to make another one of these. And I'll make that one even different, and then you'll have a different one to look at. What do you think of that? Okay, so I'm taking this snowflake stamp, which sort of looks like corners to me. I don't know. I don't know if it's meant to look like corners, but I think it's kind of like corners. And where's my scrap paper? Here it is. Kind of want to experiment with this a little bit though, because Misty Moonlight is not a light color. So I'm thinking, what if I do one and then stamp off? Yeah, I want to make that lighter. And maybe I was thinking I would do it on both sides, but now I'm thinking, no, I probably won't do it on both sides because I can't get the right angle going the other direction. Can I? Or can I? Well, sort of. Okay, maybe I will. Stamp off once. Yeah, it's a little wonky, but I think that's okay. So now we have some snowflakes. And I don't know if I need another sentiment or not. We certainly don't need to have a sentiment everywhere, do we? Although, you know what might be kind of nice to put here? Well, no, because I put the bow there. So this is, again, this is what I go through. I'm just talking to myself. I was thinking about the New Year one might be nice, but I would have liked that on the other side. And then I put the bow there, so now I don't think I want it. Anything else that looks good that would look nice there? Nothing from there. Could. No pine cones. No, I think I'm going to leave well enough alone. That's what I think. All right. I might switch this one and this one. And I'm not even really sure why, but I might try it. And I haven't done the cover yet, a sentiment on the front, so we need to get to that. And I'm still frozen. Okay, I always assume that when the picture goes out, the voice also goes out, but since I honestly don't know that to be true, I think I'm going to just keep going. Because it's kind of too late to stop now, right? All right, so first of all, I want to make sure I have enough of this ribbon. I do like to make a decent sized bow, so we're going to cut that. And then I need a sentiment though. There's another Christmas card, another Christmas stamp set around here someplace, but I have not been able to locate it tonight. I do like May Your Days Be Merry and Bright though. And again, that's not strictly Christmas, so sometimes that's a good thing depending on who you're sending your card to. I did not take the time to cut out any, to die cut any more things. Last night I did not have the colors that I was looking for in this, or whatever night it was. Maybe it wasn't last night. Yeah, it just seems to be every time I want a color, it's not here. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Okay. But I do have circles. And do I have some Misty Moonlight paper right here where I can actually lay my hands on it? I might, and I might not. Well, that's definitely not Misty Moonlight. Hang on, I'm going to search in my, ooh, avalanche. Search in my scrap pockets. So I save my scraps of cardstock in pockets like this, and they're labeled. So I have the blues, and then I have the pinks and reds, and I have purples, and look, I have a little piece of Misty Moonlight. Not sure which one's going to be the better size. Misty Moonlight was a favorite color for a long time for me, and it still is. So I don't always have a lot of scraps of it because I find ways to use them up, but that might work. Let's see. Because I'm thinking this, may your days be merry and bright. Let's see if that will fit in a 2-inch circle. It will. And then we have to see if, let's get those out of the way. If one of these will work with my 2 1/4 inch punch, and boy, is that calling it close. Oh, this is better. Okay. So a 2 1/4 inch punch of Misty Moonlight. And then Misty Moonlight ink. You know what I love about circles? You can't really stamp crooked on a circle, can you? Because if it's crooked, you just turn it. That's what I love about circles. They're kind of goof-proof. All right. And then we'll center that pretty well there. Okay, okay. Now we've got this, which I want to be even. So I'm just going to make sure that I pull that so that both ends are the same length. And then I'm going to, oh good, I have a big long piece here. So what I'm going to do, as soon as I find my Teflon scissors, here they are, is I'm going to, I had to make sure it wasn't bigger than my thing, my circle. I'm going to put that on right there with a piece of that as well. And then I'm also going to have a couple of those. And then, let's see, wait, I gotta make sure that I've got this kind of in the right spot. So I'm going to put that a little off center on that way and put this one a little bit off center this way so that I'm not hitting that strip, because if I do, then this thing's going to be really wonky. It's going to be popped up too much in some places and not enough in others. Okay. So no, unless do not disturb mode thinks you still want your alarms to ring. I don't know if they do or not. Haven't given that much thought. All right, let's see if I can get that centered. It's still not centered, is it? Not quite. That's why you don't press down right away. Okay. Now I can press it down, and I got a little smudge there, so probably that wasn't totally dry yet. So at some point I'll get out my sand eraser, which I don't have in front of me right now. I do this on my lap with it like sitting between my legs because it's just an easy way to hold it together, but you can't very well see if I do that. So I'm going to put it between 2 punches so that I don't have to have 4 hands or even 3 hands to do this. And I'm going to tie it in a nice bow, although sometimes I like to make the bow so it comes a little bit more forward. Doesn't always work for me, but sometimes. There we go. Because if it's towards the back, you're not going to see it, right? There. Now, if somebody gets a Christmas card like this from you, just to warn you, chances are they're going to think there's going to be some money in it for them. Just saying. So, just be prepared. All right. Well, I have no idea if this has been an exercise in futility until I say goodnight, but we will hope for the best. Again, I'll post pictures. I should be able to get that done tonight. I'll post pictures tonight. I'm trying to do things in like a more timely fashion. And then we have this one, which I'll tie so I don't take too much time. So we've got 2 of these that we made tonight. And I think they're both lovely in very different ways. And of course I didn't have to use circle punches for both of them, but I just kind of had circle punches there. So that's what I used. All right, I will see you tomorrow night. And I haven't decided, I'm narrowing tomorrow night's project down between a couple of things, but something a little bit different, probably a box or something like that. Okay, so have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow and look for pictures later on tonight.